Hi everyone, welcome to tonight's yoga class. It's gonna be a yin yoga class. Before we start, I will just tell you a few things about yin yoga for the one that never did it before. So in yin yoga, we hold the poses for 3 to 5 minutes. Is a long pose. And so to do so, what we want to do is to enter the pose at a level that we can hold it for this long time. So if you know that you kind of struggle in forward fold, don't go at your maximum, because if you go at your max, you might feel so much stretch behind your legs that then you cannot hold it for 3 minutes or 5 minutes. What we want to do in yin yoga is to enter the pose, find a comfortable pose where you can hold it for 3-5 minutes, still feel that your work is that your body is working, and at the same time stay as still as possible. The body, once we enter the pose, should not move for the 3 minutes. And to allow the body to stay still, we need to still the mind. And to allow the mind to be still, we can work with the breath. We can help by keeping the gaze on a certain point, so that we don't, once we look around, our mind start to think, oh, maybe the vase there that I have is a bit dirty, I should clean it, and then you start to move your head and move this and move that, and then you want to move your body. So still the mind, still your body, don't move unless your body wants to go deeper. If you feel, okay, my body after 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes start to release, and I can feel that, okay, I can go deeper into the pose, then move, but then move, reach your next edge, and then stay still again. So mainly these two things. Find your edge, which is find the position that you can hold for 3 minutes or 5, and then try to stay still. And the last thing is that yin yoga is quite of inward practice. So I will talk you into the pose, how to enter. I will tell you where you should feel the pose, where you should not feel the pose, and then I will stop talking and just leave you at your own practice. Set so, let's begin. You can find a comfortable seated position onto your mat or onto a meditation pillow, a block, a normal pillow, a sofa pillow, whatever you have to elevate a bit the hips if you need so. And then close your eyes. Elongate your spine, roll the shoulders back and down, start to just arrive onto the mat. Maybe you stayed home the whole day, but still, it's a long day, even staying home. You might still feel stressed, or a bit anxious, or a bit off. Even if it's good to stay home, it might still be affecting our emotions and our moods. Take a few breaths here. Feel the air coming in, your chest rising, and feel the air flowing out and the chest lowering. We will do a few rounds of guided breathing before starting our physical practice. Just follow my guidance. Take a deep inhale. Exhale out. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Hold the breath. Inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Hold the breath. Go back to your normal breathing. And let's start our physical practice. Open your eyes. If you're sitting onto a pillow, you can remove it. Let's start with a forward fold. Extend the legs onto your mat. You can keep them slightly open and you can let the feet fall down, open up naturally. Sit over maybe your sit bones and then gently fold forward. Find the pose that you will be able to hold for 3 minutes. In yin yoga, we do not need props, meaning that we can totally stay in the pose with nothing. But if you feel like that your neck is getting tired, if you have some blocks, you can use them and place them under your forehead, to just keep your head up. Find your position. We don't want to activate any of the muscles in the yin yoga. So soft legs, of course they're pulling, but we are not contracting them, making them hard. Just relax. And then let's start our 3 minutes. You should feel a big stretch into the back of your legs actually. And also a stretch into your lower back maybe, especially if you're a bit deeper into the pose. Once you've found your position, try not to move unless your body releases and lets you go deeper. Contrary to what we do during Hatha Yoga, where we always want to have the leg fully extended, the foot flexed, the back straight, the open chest. In Yin Yoga, we can be a bit more soft. If the back rounds, it's fine. If the legs are not completely extended, it's okay. Not flexing the feet, it's okay. We're just following our body's anatomy in Yin Yoga and listening to what the body can do. Everyone might look different because we all have different bodies. way more than 3 minutes, guys, because the phone doesn't ring. Stay for a few moments here with your hands onto your knees, eyes closed. Feel the effects of this practice. Feel the effects of this pose. And then gently start to bring your feet together. Let the knees drop to the side when you face you. In Yin, even more than in Hatha, here you can really choose. If you want to keep your feet closer, then you will mainly stretch your hips. If you want to stretch more your lower back, then you can keep the feet further away from your hips. It's completely up to you. There is no right or wrong. There is no better or worse. Choose the position that you like. Then lengthen the spine, roll over onto your seat bones, and then you can slowly fall forward, dropping onto the ground. Let me see if now the phone will at least light up. Find your pose. Find your edge, and then don't move any longer. Find also your breath. You should feel a big stretch into your hips, your glutes maybe, the lower back, and no pressure in the knees, for example. The ankle might feel a bit compressed against the floor. Maybe you could put a blanket or maybe double up the mat, but it should not be an unbearable pain. In Yin, more than in any other practice, is a good moment to work on your breathing, work maybe onto your Ujjayi breath, the one where we close the glottis and we constrain a bit the throat so that the air flows in a harder way. We make a sound. If your body releases, feel free to move, but otherwise, try to stay still. Still your body, still your mind. Feel how the time passes and the targeted area feels different. You can really feel that it's starting to let go. Okay, take a deep inhale. Start to come out of the pose. Take a few moments here again. Put your hands onto your knees. Feel the effects of this pose. And then let's move on to our next pose. Wide-legged forward fold. You can open up the leg as wide, or they don't have to be as wide as the two sides of your mat. If they are a bit closer, is also completely fine. Relax your feet differently from what we usually do, that we always flex the feet. Just relax them, let them fall. And then sit over your seat bones, roll over your seat bones. Maybe this is already enough of a stretch for you, and if you want to stay here, that's completely fine. Or maybe you can slowly walk your hand to the front. Maybe this is okay. Maybe bring the elbows onto the floor. And maybe go even a bit deeper. You can choose the depth of your pose. We will hold this for a bit longer, 5 minutes. Find your edge and let's begin. You can also use a pillow like I have here now. But if you get one that doesn't make any noise, maybe it's better. But seriously, you could use a pillow or a bolster to put under your body so that you can just lay on top of it and relax completely. Relax your legs. Maybe here your shoulders are a bit tight, because if you are in the same position as me, then your shoulders are holding up your body. But if not, your legs are relaxed. You should be feeling a big deep stretch in the inner part of your leg and in your lower back again, because we're folding forward. Find your breath. 5 minutes is a long time, but you will see that after maybe 1.5 or 2, then it starts to, you become more comfortable into the pose. And you can slowly start to maybe slide a bit forward until maybe you can reach with your chest to the floor. I personally think that this pose is the single most effective pose in Yin. Really help us to improve flexibility. You should actually aim to hold it for maybe 7 or 10 minutes, and then you will see how many other poses will become easier after you start to open up the hips. We have 1 more minute to go. One more deep inhale. And exhale. Very slowly come out of the pose. Sit back up to straight, into a straight position. Hands onto your knees. Feel the rebound effect 5 minutes into this pose. See how it feels onto your body. And then maybe help yourself to bring the knees back in. Feet onto the ground, hands behind your back. Gently drop the knees very slowly onto one side and then on the other side. Releasing a bit. Our hips. Very slowly, let's move into upward facing dog. It's just a quick transition. I mean, not very quick, but it's just a transition. We don't hold it for long. Bring your right knee to your right thumb and the right foot to the left edge of the mat. And then gently sit down onto your right thigh. In yin, it's fine. If our hip open up a little, it's completely okay. Choose how close you want your foot to be. The closer it is to your hip, the least the stretch. The further from your hip, the stronger the stretch. Choose whatever suits you most. Remember that we will hold this for 2 minutes. Once you found your position, maybe you still want to use a block and put it under your right glute if you have it, and if you feel that the stretch is way too much. Inhale, lengthen the spine, find your position. We can maybe stay here, hands onto the floor, chest lifted, or maybe we can slowly lower elbows onto the ground. And maybe we can go even deeper and just lay onto the floor, forehead onto the ground. Complete pigeon. Find your edge, find your position, and then let's start. 2 minutes. I'll put the timer here so I can see it. You should feel a big stretch into your right glute, but no pressure onto the right knee. The rest of the body is soft, laying on top of our thigh. Long inhale, long exhale, and then slowly let's get out of the pose. Lift your chest up, take a moment here, feel the effects of this long pigeon pose, and then slowly start to swing the left leg to the front, crossing the left knee on top of the right one. Your feet might be more open or closer to your hips. Everybody is different. Everyone has more or less open hips. Doesn't matter. Our goal is to stack the knees one on top of the other one. But if they don't, it's also fine. You should feel a very big stretch into your sides here. Both legs feeling a deep stretch. You can stay here. Hands onto the floor, chest lifted, or maybe you can increase a bit the stretch and slowly lower with the hands in front of you, maybe dropping your chest onto your knees, maybe dropping your chin and go even deeper. Find your edge, and let's go 2 minutes also here. Same big stretch into the hips, different rotation. In pigeon, we're doing an external rotation of the hips. In this pose, Gomukhasana, we are doing an internal rotation of the hips. Same as before, we don't want to feel any pressure onto the knees. If you feel pressure onto the knees, try to see if you can move the feet closer to your buttocks or maybe further. Just hold. One more deep inhale. Exhale. And then slowly release. Lift your chest up. Very gently uncross the legs. Feet onto the floor. Hands behind your back. Lean back and then drop the knees to the sides. Relaxing a bit our hips. And then again, very slowly, let's go back into downward facing dog. And this time, we bring the left knee to the left thumb, left foot to the right edge of our mat. And then we sit down onto the left glute. Again, choose how close your foot you want it to be to your right hip this time. The closer, the least stretch, the further up, the more the stretch. Choose the position that suits you. If your right hip flares out a bit, it's no big deal. In Yin Yoga, it's okay. After you found your position, take a deep inhale, lengthen the spine, open your chest up, and then see if you want to stay here or maybe lower onto your elbows or maybe go completely onto the floor. Mirror what you did onto the right side. One leg, of course, is more flexible than the other one, but try to make them even, and so do the same on one side and the other one. Big stretch into the left glute. No pressure onto the left knee. The rest of the body is relaxed. It is normal during hip openers, such as this pose, that some emotion might come up. You might feel upset, you might feel sad, you might feel you want to cry. This is completely normal. Much of our tension is stored into our hips, and when we open them up with these kind of stretches, then we trigger some emotional reactions. One more deep inhale. And one more long exhale. Next inhale, slowly come out of the pose. Very gently lift the chest up. Feel the effect of this pigeon pose onto your body. And then slowly swing the right leg to the front, crossing the right knee on top of the left one. Find your position, both sit bones onto the floor, stack the knees, one on top of the other. Your feet might be more or less open. And once you found your position, maybe stay here or maybe hinge forward, and let's start our 2 minutes. Big stretches into our hips, but no pressure onto the knees. Go back to your breathing. Always feel free to use your Ujjayi breath. One more deep inhale. And exhale. Slowly release. Bring your chest up. And then very slowly uncross your legs. Put both feet onto the ground. Lean back onto your hands. And then drop the knees side to side. Countering a bit the pose. Let's lay down onto our belly now. Sphinx pose. Elbows under the shoulders. Let's start with this mild back bend. Relax your legs, relax your glutes, relax your belly onto the floor. Your elbows are under your shoulders. Shoulders far away from your ears. Don't drop your neck down like this, but still try to keep the shoulders off the ears. And close your eyes, find your breathing here. 2 minutes. If you feel too much of a pinch into your spine, you can just move the elbows a bit further towards the front of the mat. This way you reduce a bit the back bend. Just stay here and relax. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. Feel free to stay here if this is already enough of a back bend. Or if you want to go a bit deeper, you can press the hands onto the floor and extend the elbows up. Try again to relax your glutes and let the belly drops onto the floor. And then you can adjust the distance of your hands. The closer they come to your hips, the deeper the back bend. Find your pose, and then let's hold it again for 2 minutes. Don't let your vertebrae pinch together. Don't go too deep. If it's too uncomfortable, don't push yourself too much. In Yin Yoga, is actually the length of the time that we hold the pose that help us to go deeper into the practice rather than pushing as much as we can right away. One deep inhale. Exhale out. Slowly release elbows onto the floor and then lay down, hands along your body. Take a short break here. Feel the effect of this long back bend. You can also just wiggle your butt left and right. You can even maybe bend the knees and swing your legs side to side. See if you kind of distress your back. And then let's turn onto our backs. We can just simply flip over, our back, legs onto the floor, extended. Let's start with Bananasana. Bring both legs to the right, out of your mat, and then lift your arms up, grab the left wrist with the right hand, and pull your body to the right as well, making like a banana shape. We'll hold this for 2 minutes. Try to keep both of your shoulder blades onto the floor and both of your hips onto the floor. I find it more comfortable to slightly turn my head towards the left, but listen to your body and do what is more comfortable for you. What we're doing here is bending our spine, rounding the side of our back. One more deep inhale. Exhale, release, come back to center. And then move your legs towards the left this time. Hands above your head, grab the right wrist with the left hand and pull your body towards the left. I don't have a lot of space here, but doesn't matter. Again, 2 minutes. Glutes and shoulder blades, both of them flat onto the floor. Deep inhale. Exhale. Release the legs to the center. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Maybe swing side to side. Neutralize the spine. And then open up your arms as wide as possible. Palm in line with your shoulders, making a letter T. And then slowly drop your knees towards the right. You can choose the the twist that you prefer. This is a very gentle one. If you want to increase a bit the stretch, you can cross the top knee on top of the bottom one. We will hold it for 2 minutes. Legs towards the right, head towards the left. Try to keep the left shoulder onto the floor as well, really twisting our spine. Deep inhale. Exhale, uncross the knees if they're crossed, and then bring them back to the center. Give yourself another hug. And then slowly drop the knees to the left. Open up the right hand at least to the side. And turn the head to the right. Right shoulder onto the floor. Deep inhale. Exhale. Uncross the legs, bring them back in to center. And let's finish off with happy baby. Bring your knees to the side of your body, feet, sole of the feet facing the ceiling. Grab the outside or the inside of your feet, whatever is more comfortable, and just hang in here. You might slide, swing side to side slightly, or maybe just stay still. 2 more minutes. Opening the hips and stretching the lower back, all in one position. Go back to your breathing. Maybe use Ujjayi, the victory breath. We're almost there. One more deep inhale. And exhale. Let go of your feet. Bring your knees back into the center. And then let the feet drop onto the floor and extend out the legs. We'll go directly into Shavasana. Let your feet open up naturally. Hands along your body, palm of the hands facing up. Let your body sink deep onto the floor, heavy. You might feel very light now onto the ground, feeling your hips very open, your back in a neutral position. While you calm down your breathing and you let it become lighter, start to relax your feet. Relax also your knees, your hips. Relax your lower back, your upper back. We worked on it quite a bit. Relax your belly and your chest. Let go of any tension in the shoulders. Relax your arms, elbows, wrists. Relax your neck. Let go of any tension in your jaws, the air behind your ears, your eyebrows ridges, your forehead. Just lay in here and relax for a few more moments. Feel free to stay in Shavasana for a bit longer, as long as you need. But if you want to finish the class with me, start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Bring life back to our body. Allow the breath to become deeper. Maybe take a few long inhales. Then bring your hands up and above your head. Give yourself a big stretch from fingers to toes. And then turn onto one side of your body. Take a few moments here to readjust. And when you're ready, push yourself up to seated. Hands in front of your heart. Let's take one last long breath together. Inhale. Exhale all the air out. Before we finish, think about 3 things that you are grateful for today. And then bow your head and thank yourself for today's practice. Our class finishes here. Thank you for joining me tonight.